What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome into episode number 423 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, number 11 Philadelphia ranked, the most disrespectful and unprofessional lacrosse podcast you ever done, seen, and heard in the land. It is the Outside the Box podcast, the official lacrosse podcast on the Underground Industries Podcast Network. KB, back at it, and look who's back, better than ever. Freshly escaped from the movie theater. It's Coach Deej.
Yes, sir, gang. I'm here.
We kept your streak
made it
alive
back
through the phone call last week.
Yes,
we
we
had to make
did.
sure that the
Yes,
the
we did.
streak
I was
kept
still
going.
on the pod and
Yes.
present. I've yet to miss a week.
I know. I was like,
So-
we got to keep the perfect attendance going.
We gonna keep it. It was a very sad reason to be making my way onto the pod. Really should have been celebrating a Michigan dub, not
I know.
a Denver win.
It was
but
so
hey.
funny because right before we called you, we were like, he's just gonna spin this into being the basketball won the national championship.
Because why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? What'd you say for a whole year? Still Super Bowl champs? Hey,
Yep.
hey, I'm still a national champ.
Yep.
And I will be until the second week of April next year.
Yep.
So I don't care what anybody's got to say. We're national champs.
So funny. So funny.
And Hoots is going to say the same thing until
yeah.
the middle of April next
Even
year.
more hysterical because he's not a Denver alum.
At all. I mean, I'm not a UM alum, but at least I live here.
Right.
Well, I guess he lives in Denver.
Well, he went to Colorado State. So it's
Oh,
like
that's hilarious.
yeah.
I went to a very small school that is not
Right.
even comparable.
It's different.
Like
It's like
everybody
me.
at my school was like a Michigan or Michigan State fan.
It's like me. Like I grew up a Villanova fan. I wasn't gonna abandon that. So funny.
That is hilarious.
Hoots is gonna text us as he's listening. What the fuck you say fuck me for?
No, dead ass. Those are some of my favorite texts to get. Like we record an episode and bring
the
him up,
best.
and I'm gonna be like, he's gonna text me.
Yep.
He's gonna text us and be like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck?"
We got a fun one. It's the final week of the 2025-2026 NLL season. We're recording this Friday night. I apologize for the delay. We'll talk about it later on. I was at ESPN headquarters again Tuesday and Wednesday for the PLL and WLL drafts. So being away kind of just like threw scheduling off a little bit. Plus, when I came back, I had back-to-back broadcast jobs. Deej had coaching. You're still getting the episode. It might be a little delayed. It might be some live updates to the Vegas Desert Dogs and San Diego Seals' first game of their weekend doubleheader. But
we don't miss.
you still gonna get this episode. We're gonna talk about the NLL matchups. We will also talk about the PLL and WLL drafts. We got some fun updates from draft week and being at ESPN headquarters again, which is always a privilege and an honor that we have some representation at the worldwide leader. So we'll talk all about that as well. Before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at OTB LaxPod across the board. Follow us. Be like Matty Buss, head coach and GM of the California Palms, and follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Follow the boys. Follow us. Subscribe as well. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. You can also watch the show on Spotify. Apparently, video version of podcasts are coming soon to Apple as well. So when that comes, we'll let you know. But please subscribe on Apple and Spotify. Listen and download on Apple and Spotify. It helps this show continue to grow. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia and Outside the Box podcast YouTube channels, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia, youtube.com/@OTB LaxPod. Just because the college show gets uploaded to the OTB channel doesn't mean you unsubscribe from Underground. Okay? Subscribe to both. It helps this company when you subscribe to both. Please subscribe to both. I'm begging and pleading with you. Please subscribe to both. Yes, subscribe. Leave a like on the video. Share the video with your friends. Comment. Deej, before we just started recording, I said it feels like it's been an eternity since we recorded. How the fuck we living, my friend?
Dog, I'm tired, but I'm alive. I'm 6 feet above and not 6 feet under, so I can't complain. Well, technically 5 feet 10 inches above, and not 6 feet under.
We can always just turn this into divorced dad rock and say we're 6 feet from the edge, and we're thinking that maybe 6 feet ain't so far down.
Hey, basically, it's been a long week, but I'm alive. I'm breathing. Still searching for our first win of the season, but we're putting the pieces together. Put in another play today for our offense. So we got a couple different plays to run tomorrow. We have a very winnable game as you guys are listening to this on Saturday. So I'm feeling good headed into the weekend. 3 winnable games in a row. So have a chance at a little mini win streak during the season. So I'm happy. I'm happy. Still Natty champ.
I have my first lacrosse broadcast coming up on Monday. Repping the
Nice.
boys. Shout out to the boys. Fresh merch came in while I was away. I gotta see how they're actually doing. Let's
go Fighting Clam.
Find the boys lacrosse. Let's see how we're doing this year. Shout out to Coach Coring, listener of the pod. 2025. So they got their first win last week. Monday's going to be tough, playing against one of the best teams in South Jersey. But Friday's also going to be badass because we play Millville, which means I'll see the boy Dom. Which, shout out to the OG co-host. He and his wife just had their baby.
Nice. Congratulations, Dom. That's awesome.
First official, OG underground baby.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the first official underground baby.
Ridiculous.
Oh, man.
We're getting old, man. What the
Who's next? Steve?
I said it's a 50-50 coin flip between Steve and Dylan.
I forgot about Dylan. You're right.
And I lean Dylan.
I could see that.
I thought I was in the clear, bro. I thought I made it through the period of my life where I was going to weddings. Just got the invite to Dylan's.
And I mean, I'm down the road.
Yeah, down the road.
Hoots is gonna get married.
Down the road. That boy's still young.
Pitt's got to get married, right?
That's down the road.
We know you're not getting married. So
I thought I was gonna be clear until the next decade.
You're not getting married, so it's fine.
I thought I was.
We know that.
Good. 2030, I'd reevaluate where I was going to be with my friends and everything with weddings. Nah, this back end of the 2020s is going to snipe me.
You'll be all right, bro. You'll be all right.
It's crazy.
If you need a +1, I'm available.
Which I gotta check. I got this invite when I was at a Phillies game. And bruh, I'm 90% sure Dylan's wedding is the day of the Final Four next year.
The semi or the yeah, semi, right? The Saturday?
Yeah,
That's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's kind of wild, though.
That's crazy.
It's just gonna be up on the big screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some TVs up in this, John.
No, they just gonna put it up on a projector. It's just gonna be playing on the wall the whole wedding.
Bags.
That's what I would do. Oh, you want to get married on this day? Well, listen, honey. Game's gonna be up on a projector over there.
Game respects game.
That's the only thing I got to say. The rest of it you can plan. Game's going up over there, though.
Yep. Everything else, don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Don't worry about it. Somebody pull up. Hey, why is there a project? Oh, it's gonna be a slideshow. No.
No, this guy's name's Trey. He got a basketball game today.
And he need to win before I have a meltdown on my wedding day.
Oh, it's great. There you go, Brian.
OTB after dark. You know it.
You know the vibes. NLL Week 20 in the books, Deej. We will do a quick kind of overview recap here. Toronto beats Ottawa 10-6. Vancouver trailed the entire time until Jesse King scored the game-winning goal against Halifax, and they win 8-7. The Roughnecks double up the Oshawa Firewolves 14-7.
Gang, 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 gang.
The Philadelphia Wings with a beautiful final game in Philly.
Yeah,
an 11-5 victory over the Vegas Desert Dogs. Buffalo doubles up Rochester 12-6. Colorado takes down Saskatchewan 13-11. And San Diego find a way to beat Brett Dobson and company 9-7 in Georgia. Wings game was emotional, for sure. It was a really cool environment. You know, having been at 95% of every Wings home game since their existence of being back, it was that's a game I'm gonna remember forever. Like, not even just like because of what it was, but like from the moment it starts. Sam LeClaire scores that first goal and he brandishes the Wings logo on the front of his jersey and is holding it up to the fans. KJ doing his best air gate impression, which was just like one of the sickest goals I've ever seen. Not only him score, but just like in general. Dalton Young just like leaving it all out there, and then like after the game, like you see the emotion on his face, and the boys just like letting it all out, and he's crying on the floor. Like, you just saw how much this team and this city meant to the guys on the team, and for them to go out and get a win like that in just like dominating fashion. Nick Demuth set the franchise record in saves. He had 60 saves. Like, it was just like everything. It was out of a fairy tale type like feeling. 60 saves, bro. 60 saves on 65 shots faced.
Not 16.
6-0.
60.
6D. It was like a total team performance of a lifetime.
There's no way you said those words to me. 6-0. 60. Like SIXTY.
6-0. 60.
Like, that's
60 piece.
insane. Is that single game NLL record?
Single game Wings record. Single game NLL record is like OG NLL. There was like one, but because Adam Levy was at the game, we were sitting next to each other in the press box, which was amazing. He's going to be coming on the show pretty soon.
Hell yeah.
But Graham Perro's website is NLL Chatter. No. NLL Stats. Saves in a game. Where is this?
Can we start doing like modern day records? Like the NBA does?
There is. That's what we were saying. There is like a way to like look at it as like modern day.
Because the NBA is like, hey, listen, before this year, we don't even talk about that. Now this right here, these were all the records start. By the way, I'm still not convinced Wilt scored 100 until I see video. We got video of everything else but my man dropping 100 points. I'm just saying.
Modern day, where do we want to put that to? I think Adam said it was like 2005.
And don't give me that he was too old, because there's video of Wilt Chamberlain do all kind of stuff but scoring 100 points. So I ain't believing it till I see it.
I don't know how he pulled this up. But yeah. 60 saves in a game for Nick
That's
Dinwiddie.
insane.
Wild. I think it's only happened like I think Adam tweeted it actually. I think it's only happened like 5 times in like the last 20 years.
Surprised it even happened that many times.
And I think Brett Dobson's like at least one of them. Let's see. Adam. I'll try to find that. But yeah, I mean, just the environment was like unbelievable. And it just gave me like chills. And like I get into the press conference, I'm asking Rubel a question, and I like start to like feel myself getting choked up because I'm just like, holy shit, this is like the last one.
Soft.
Hey, call me what you want. Yeah, it was emotional. Like you saw like what it meant to the fans, you saw what it meant to the players, and it sucks. 10 out of 10 don't recommend losing your team.
It's a horrible experience.
It sucks. It was really cool though. Shout out to Jen Hildebrand and the Headstrong Foundation. They had some extra tickets and hooked it up, so OG and CFO got to go to the last Wings game.
Oh, that's so sick.
And if you know the story, we've told it a bunch on here, but like that
So
used to be
nostalgic.
their Friday night date nights, and for them to be able to be there, I thought was pretty fucking cool. I was like, we should have just brought them to every game because they were 2-0 this year.
Nah, dead ass.
They won the first one and they won the last one.
Wings dropped a serious ball with that one right there.
Yeah, had them both in the building.
Like, listen here. I know it used to be Fridays, but we're gonna need you here on
Saturday
and a few Sundays this year.
But hell of a game from the Wings, and it was really cool. The final player press conference was Ryan Wagner and Isaiah Davis-Allen, who were the 2 longest tenured Wings, and like you could see the emotion on their faces. And like IDA was like, you know, I came here pretty much fresh out of college, and now, you know, I'm sitting in here, and my wife and 2 kids are out in the hallway, and it's like we're all kind of like going into this next phase of life type thing. And I was like, damn, man, I'm old as shit.
Yeah, you are.
But it's crazy that those are the 2 that made it the whole way from 2018 to now. It's just Ryan Wagner and Isaiah Davis-Allen.
A lot of turnover, a lot of change, a lot of good, a lot of bad in those years.
Mm-hmm. So shout out to the boys for bringing it home. I was impressed with San Diego. That's a hell of a win to keep your season alive. To go in to Georgia, beat Brett Dobson like that, and come away with a win was huge to make this weekend truly matter. Colorado, without Andrew Q, go into Saskatchewan, and Saskatchewan just continues to free fall. Where I don't think we're talking about that enough as NLL fans, as NLL media. The Saskatchewan Rush are like crumbling before our very eyes.
It's really bad.
Like, it's bad.
It's really bad. They like went from looking like the far and away best team in the league, like it's going to take an absolute freight train to stop them, to by the way, that freight train showed up.
Yep.
And it's here, and they're stopped, and they've been stopped for a little bit now. They're really, really struggling. And really, I think in multiple facets of the game. I don't think it's just the offense. I don't think it's just the defense. I don't think it's just the transition. I don't think it's one of those things being consistent in any of the games. I think they're having different pieces not show up and do their job at different weeks. And that's really killing them because they can't put together a full 60 minutes. They went from literally in, what was it, I think 11 games, 12 games, being the best team that was playing a full 60 minutes every game. If you wanted to beat them, you had to come out and play 61 minutes and be better than them, even though you were only playing in 60 minutes. I know it's not possible to play 61 minutes in 60, but that was the only way to beat the Rush at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's, hey, you just got to get off the bus and try hard. And
they went from being the number 1 seed, like pretty firmly, to now, if the playoffs started today, which we'll see what happens at the end of this weekend, obviously, they'd be going on the road for their first playoff game. They're the 5 seed.
Happened fast.
It is a catastrophic free fall for them.
And you wonder, like, do they, like, are they telling themselves everything okay and just, like, trying to be chill and, like, not stress about it? Or, like, are they actively looking at it like, hey, we have an issue and we need to fix it? I'm leaning more toward the first option. And, like, they're trying to be super chill and, like, not stress themselves out and, like, not overthink it or try and do too much. But it's like, in the same token, like, you're almost not doing anything, and that's not fixing the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say much, though. I'm a Calgary fan, so.
Also, I didn't realize we're like live on Twitter right now.
Yes.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yes. What a Friday night.
So funny. Kind of works.
It does kind of work.
With where we're recording. But yes, Saskatchewan's fall off is huge. Rochester's fall off was even bigger. They're out of the playoffs, obviously.
Well, not yet.
No, they're officially eliminated.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
But the implications of that could determine who's in the playoffs if San Diego and Vegas split this weekend.
Correct.
So very weird.
Yeah. Halifax is still alive, barely.
The winner of that game this week wins the playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a crazy matchup.
Yeah, I mean, the Buffalo Bandits are just fucking Thanos, bro. They are the most inevitable entity I've ever seen in my life.
They're here.
Like
they're going to show up every season. It's just a matter of when.
It's crazy.
And this year they decided to show up in the latter half, and now they're in the playoffs. Like,
not even in the playoffs. They have a chance to be the number 1 seed.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Like, it's
even though I picked Calgary to beat Colorado, I'm not sure they will. And if Colorado wins, they lock the 1 seed. So,
like, it's not out of the question, though, and that's what's like crazy.
Well, is that more on them or is that more on everybody else? Because I would argue that, like, Saskatchewan's downfall. Colorado dropped a couple games they shouldn't have. San Diego has been below par. Rochester has been an absolute nightmare. Like, a lot of teams that were ahead of them when they weren't doing so well have kind of just collapsed. So, like, they've kind of just been able to, 1, beat a handful of those teams because they're playing so bad, and 2, kind of just make their way up as those teams are making their way down. So, like, I see where it's like kind of like, holy hell, they're at the top, but at the same time, it's like they haven't really done anything. They're not surprising. They're not blowing people out like they were before. They're not dominating these games like they were before. They're kind of squeezing by, and it's kind of more so like, hey, yeah, Buffalo made the playoffs, but they could be bounced first round, like 1 game and done easily. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they can make the run and be raising the cup again, and everybody could just have their jaw on the ground. They're so unpredictable, but like not in a bad way where it's like, oh, I don't know what to say about them. It's more so like, I don't know what opponent is going to show up and play Buffalo.
Yeah. The crazy thing is and these are all like huge things that would need to happen. Calgary would have to beat Colorado, and Philly would have to beat Vancouver, and then Buffalo would have to win, and they're the 1 seed. Which, like, crazier things have happened. See last season with Rochester getting into the playoffs when they had like a 0.08% chance and they got in. But yeah, I mean, it's not out of the question that they could end up with the 1 seed. Vancouver could still end up with the 1 seed. Colorado could still end up with the 1 seed. I don't think Georgia can. So it's kind of just those 3 teams, which is nuts with where Buffalo was in January. And we were like, are they even going to make the playoffs? And now here they are surging potentially being they're locked into a top 3 seed.
If I'm Brett Dobson, I'd be pissed.
I'm sick.
If I'm Brett Dobson, I'd be yelling at everybody, especially the offense. You motherfuckers couldn't score enough goals to help us win a few more games at the beginning of the season so we could be the 1 seed, or at least in the top 3 or a 4 seed.
Now, Georgia
at best.
Georgia could end up in a top 3 seed. So if Buffalo loses, they fall out of that top 3 seed, but they are playing Oshawa.
Exactly.
So
I'd be livid. I mean, granted, crazy. With the way he's played, they should be the best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be mad if I wasn't anything but 1.
Yeah, if Georgia sweep and Buffalo lose, Georgia becomes the 2 seed. Which, let's say, yeah, the highest Georgia can go is 2.
Which is solid.
Which is not bad at all. And then there's still a way for the Wings to end up with the number 1 overall pick in multiple facets, even if they were to win, because Oshawa has the tiebreaker.
Don't win.
I don't think they're going to. Vancouver's going to fight for that 1 seed.
Just don't win. Tell them go out and don't win. Make your calls and tell them, hey, I'm not telling you to throw the game, but I'm telling you we can't win.
Got to get Joey number 1 overall.
Not because not because y'all need Joey, but because Toronto can't have Joey.
Or Ottawa.
I don't care if he goes to Ottawa. I don't want him in Toronto, if I'm being honest. I can live with him being in Ottawa. I cannot live with him going to Toronto. I can't.
Yeah.
Call me what you want, but I need
him to play with Brennan O'Neill.
That would be nasty. That would be nasty. But also, I mean, him with Jeff Teague.
Sure.
And maybe even Rob Hellier for a year or 2. I mean, I'm here for that.
But him with Brennan and Michael Sowers?
I'm not saying that wouldn't be nice to see. But I'm just saying, don't forget that on the opposite side, we got something nice to see as well.
What is it?
And granted, even if he went to Toronto, him with Owen Hiltz and CJ Kirst, I mean, that would be an exciting offense to watch.
Sam English and Tyler Rogers and Mark Matthews. And
maybe even Tom Schreiber. Like, hey, I'm just saying, the offense looks good over there. I personally just don't want to see that. I mean, hey, if somehow Calgary could actually have their first overall pick, it would be nice.
Yeah.
I heard he likes gray, black, and white. You know? The Northmen are grayscale or something like that, right?
Oh, it's hysterical. Fun win for your Roughnecks in a game that didn't really matter for either team because no matter what, they don't have the pick. It mattered for other teams.
This was the one game I found enough Wi-Fi to be updated on. I was like getting tweet notice and I was like, no way are we pumping them like this. Like, let's fucking go. And it actually gave me like 2.5 hours worth of tweet notice before my phone started bugging again. And I was like, that's just God. That's just the boy looking out like, look, I know you care about this game. I'm going to show you what's up. So you know you're not stressing all weekend.
Ottawa's cooked, in my opinion.
Yes.
Like, they're done. Vancouver looks really, really...
Or not Ottawa, Oshawa.
No, I'm saying Ottawa's cooked.
Oh, you think Ottawa's cooked too?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think they're done. Like, that game against Toronto was like a must-win of must-wins, and you can only score 6. And I'm not diminishing anything Toronto did, but like when you need to win with your season practically on the line because now you're in a playoff game in week 21 for a ticket to the playoffs, like not great, Bob, not great.
Right.
Anything else, Deej, from week 20?
I mean, I'm no disrespect to any of the teams out there. I didn't get a chance to really watch or catch up or anything on any of these games. I spent my entire weekend with high school kids at a conference, being their chaperone. And then I spent all week working and coaching. So I spent, I don't know, somewhere of upwards of 100 hours of the last, literal week between Thursday night and, Friday night as we're recording this with high school kids. So I don't have a ton to say. I'm really happy with my Roughnecks win. I mean, that's like, for me, every win for the Roughnecks this year has just been a building block. Like, hey, you're continuing to prove to yourself that you belong at this level. You compete at this level. Your team can have success and greatness at this level. You just have to continue molding the pieces together and maybe adding stuff to it. So I'm very happy with last weekend's output from Calgary. And then the rest of it kind of played out almost directly to my picks and how I figured it would go. It's just that time of the year where it feels weird that this week almost doesn't mean anything. Like there's
a couple teams.
Yeah, like there's a couple of seeding things that could change, but there's only one playoff spot left to grab. Like, that's just so weird. Like, I can think back to the last 2-3 seasons where we're having 3-4 playoff spots decided in this final week, and this week it's just one. It just feels off. And I think this whole season has felt off. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it's felt very calm.
Well, technically 2 spots are up for grabs, because if Halifax wins, they're in, Ottawa's out, and then obviously the San Diego Vegas doubleheader.
Right. But I mean, even then,
and then if Ottawa wins, Halifax is out.
Right. So I mean,
so it's the final 2 spots, but like the other 6 teams, even with Saskatchewan free falling, they feel like they're in an like those 6 teams are an echelon above the 7 and 8 seed, and then like
7
Colorado,
and 8 are
Vancouver,
still...
Buffalo, Toronto, and Georgia to a degree are like an echelon above Saskatchewan right now.
But even 7 and 8 are a clear step above. What is that? 9 through 14.
Yeah, which would have been Rochester, Oshawa, Calgary, Philly.
Like, this week, it just feels like such a weird season with the way it's playing out, and just it feels very like I was just saying, like, calm. Like, there wasn't a lot of excitement this year. I don't feel like we saw as many crazy goals. There wasn't as many fights. There wasn't like all these big hits. Like,
now there was a fun fight in Philly, which was fucking awesome too. I meant to mention that Eric Fennell went full blown Rocky Balboa mode against homie from Vegas who's 6'8", and Eric Fennell beat the fucking piss out of him. And then he's in the penalty box. They put the Jumbotron on him, and it's like the Get Loud graphics. And Fennell just goes up, stands, and he's like, "Let's go!" And he's like fist up in the air. It was the most Philly thing I've ever witnessed in my life.
Great. It's just season fell off, but
there's been some interesting like fights, because we had the goalie fight again. We had the Hartley situation. We had. I feel like there was another Elijah Gash moment.
I think so too. An Elijah Gash a little moment earlier in the season.
But this year, in terms of just like results, it's just been like a tier list. Like, you have your elite teams, you have your very good teams, you have your solid teams, and then you have your teams that completely underachieved. Because you look at the standings right now,
and there wasn't a lot of variance from that throughout the season either, which I think
Colorado and Vancouver are 12-5, Buffalo, Toronto, Saskatchewan are 11-6, Georgia's 10-6, and then Ottawa's 8-9, San Diego's 7-9, Vegas is 7-9, Halifax is 7-10, Rochester 6-10, Oshawa, Calgary, Philly are all 5-12.
See, and I think like my issue is like there wasn't a lot of parity. The good teams were beating everybody else. The bad teams were losing to everybody. The middle teams win some, lose some. Like, there wasn't that mix and match that you're used to seeing, where on a random night in the NLL, the worst team in the league will go out and beat the best team, and everybody's jaws on the ground going, what the fuck just happened over the last 2 hours? That just didn't happen this year. And it just felt so weird. I guess I'm just not used to sports being so chalk. Like, this season felt so chalk.
Yeah, it was strange. But looking at the standings right now, like we said, Mammoth are at the top. They're 12-5. Vancouver's 12-5. Buffalo 11-6. Toronto and Saskatchewan also 11-6. Georgia 10-6. Ottawa 8-9. San Diego and Vegas are 7-9. Halifax 7-10. Rochester 6-10. They are eliminated. Oshawa, Calgary, Philly all eliminated as well. They all sit at 5-12. Moving to week 21. We have one game in progress as we are apparently live on Twitter and recording this. San Diego is leading Vegas halfway through the fourth quarter, 12-10. So we'll keep tabs on that. Other games going on this weekend each Saturday. 4 Eastern gets everything going. Rochester at Georgia. 6 Eastern, Ottawa at Halifax. 7 Eastern, Buffalo at Oshawa. 9 Eastern, Colorado at Calgary. 9 Eastern, Toronto at Saskatchewan. 10 Eastern, San Diego, Vegas is part of the home and home doubleheader. 10 p.m. Eastern, the final Philadelphia Wings game ever, ? At Vancouver, 10 Eastern. And then Sunday, 3 Eastern, Georgia at Rochester as part of their home and home doubleheader. I mean,
it's going to be a crazy weekend.
The games that mean something, full send, are obviously going on right now. Vegas and San Diego, both of those games matter. Ottawa, Halifax, that's a loser leaves town matchup. Georgia's got a sweep to kind of just like elevate themselves in the playoffs for seeding. Colorado's got to win if they want the 1 seed. Toronto and Saskatchewan, that's a huge seeding matchup and a potential rematch next week for the first game of the playoffs. Like those two teams could play each other now and then in Toronto next week for the opening round of the playoffs. Vancouver's got to win if they want a shot at the 1 seed. There's a lot on the line this week, even with so few games like truly mattering. Deep down, there's a lot that matters this week, which is nice.
For me, I think we're 6-7-ish on the like seeding. Like I've always felt that way about playoffs. Like to me, seeding doesn't really matter outside of home court advantage. But then again, like depending on the type of team you have, home court advantage doesn't do a lot, or home field advantage, however you want to look at it. Outside of that, like playoff seeding doesn't matter. It's all about just winning the game in front of you when it comes to the playoffs. That's it. You know, in some of these playoffs, you're in a series, but it's still about winning the game that is the very next game in front of you. So it's like you just got to get there. So I think that's like,
not to cut you off. Just I want to get your thoughts on this like topic because the NLL is so unique with their first round because it's only 1 game in that first round. To a degree, I feel like having home floor advantage in that first round is kind of nice, just because you don't have to travel for 1 game. Obviously, if you advance, you're going to travel because then it's a best of. But for that 1 game, and you kind of get to stay at home base for the guys that are in market. But like, you play on your floor, you have your fans for 1 game.
I say I would have to.
There's a little bit I think that could go into that for the one and done type matchup.
I guess just for me, like.
Especially if you're playing Buffalo.
I just don't feel like the NLL is quite at a level that you see in other sports.
Mm-hmm.
A home field advantage in the NFL, gigantic. In the NBA, gigantic. Even in the NHL, huge.
Baseball, especially.
Yeah, but like even in the NLL sometimes, like being on the road sometimes is better.
Mm-hmm.
Or like sometimes the home field doesn't do what you expect it to do. Like it just feels very like arbitrary to the NLL at this moment. Maybe because like everybody isn't quite settled into home cities. Like everybody isn't in market. So like there are still people flying into that market to play and like things like that. So maybe that's part of it, but I just don't.
4 teams it matters for.
There's
not like as the overarching, but like Buffalo, that matters. Having to go to Buffalo. Going to Saskatchewan, even though they've been like free falling, that's a hostile environment. Like those fans make it tough to play there. From a travel perspective, Georgia, most of those teams having to go all the way down to Georgia, like just from a travel perspective. And then Colorado, Saskatchewan, Buffalo have the fan base perspective.
But I think even then, it's just like we've seen them drop games, a handful of games. Like I just don't see the same home field advantage in the NLL or really lacrosse in any metric that I do just in other sports. Like it has its factors and its advantages. I'm not taking that away from it, but I just don't think it plays as big of a part as it does in other sports. So I feel like the mentality between coaches and players is a little more, hey, let's get there, rather than, hey, we need a specific seed.
Yeah.
I guess that's more so where I was going. Like, don't get me wrong. I think they all would prefer home field advantage, but I also think they just have in their mind, like, hey, it would be nice, but at the end of the day, it's just more so about getting there. After that, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Ottawa and Halifax is like the ultimate, like, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen in that game.
Whole lot of bullshit.
It is the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of the NLL. It's like those two teams.
It's the bullshit bowl of the year.
That is the Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolates matchup of the season.
Hell
Postseason on the line, and those two teams got to play each other.
Which means somebody got to lose and somebody got to win, which, I mean, honestly, is saving us NLL fans because we don't have to watch the both of them in the playoffs.
The script writers cooked with this game.
Just saying. We don't have to watch the both of them in the playoffs, so I think this really fared for us lacrosse fans more than anybody.
Holy cow.
Not that they probably wouldn't be first round outs, but still. I'd prefer not to see that.
If they were both in, it would be like Wild and Out. Fucking Emmanuel being like, you out. they would all be gone. Get them out. But yeah, we're in the final week of the NLL, which also means we're on the brink, Deej. We're on the brink of PLL season 2, which is just super exciting, obviously, but on the brink of NLL playoffs as well, which the playoff schedule is so wonky because of the NHL playoffs. And like, did you see the whole thing with the Sabres? Like they had 2 concerts booked back to back just during NHL playoff time. Like the Flyers had a
Okay, listen. In their defense, I can't remember the last time the Sabres made the playoffs.
Facts.
So they probably weren't expecting to be, I don't know, the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference.
The last time the Sabres made the playoffs was 2010, 2011.
Yeah. It's been 15 years. They did not think they were going to be the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Somebody was like, hey, so like, can we come to a concert on these dates? They're like, yeah, we'll be done with hockey season,
and it's
for
Tate
sure.
McRae.
Hey, yeah, Tate, we'll be done with hockey season. No worries. Hey, Miss McRae, I got some news. We're actually the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference. So we kind of got to play on those days that you're supposed to be here.
Yeah, like the Flyers, like Florence and the Machine were supposed to play at Xfinity Mobile Arena on one of the days that they had a concert. So now Florence and the Machine has moved to Atlantic City.
Buffalo ain't quite Atlantic City or Philly, so you can't just bounce in somewhere else.
Yeah, the Sabres won't be playing at KeyBank Center in the opening round of the playoffs against the Bruins, the 24th, 25th, and 26th. So if the Bandits were to host an NLL home playoff game next weekend, the arena would be available for them to schedule it whenever they wanted.
Well, that's some added motivation for the Bandits this week. Nice little home game in the barn.
DJ, I think without any further ado, we head on over the pick pond one last time this regular season and dish out our NLL Week 21 picks of the week, brought to you by Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny Finder. See who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Maryland, and Delaware areas. You can also find Kenwood Beer at your local liquor stores, convenience stores, and grocery stores in those markets. Just use the Kenny Finder at kenwoodbeer.com to see who has it available in your area. Must be 21 or older to do so. And as always, guys, please drink responsibly. Update on the picks. Last week, I went 5 and... was it 3? Was it 8 games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. Deej, you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. And Hoots went 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. So he got his ass again.
Hell yeah. Gaining ground, baby.
Which puts me at 60 and 57. Deej, that puts you at 63 and 54. And puts Hoots at 67 and 50.
Damn, I'm only 4 games back.
It's a big week. Big week for the picks with all these games.
I'm just trying to stay above 500, so I honestly could care about the rest.
The game going on right now, I'm not just saying this because they won. I was fully intending to pick San Diego in this one because they needed to win.
I'd already picked
winning
Vegas
right now. You picked Vegas. So there's that one. Right now, it's a 3-goal lead for San Diego with 2.5 minutes to go.
Yep.
My whole reasoning was San Diego had to win in order to
technically they both did, but yes, fair.
And San Diego was at home, so I was giving them a little bit of a nod there, and they were just on the precipice so much, and getting a win last week, I think they just remembered how to win again. So I was going to take San Diego in that game. Rochester and Georgia, Part 1, Deej.
Chris Kluche just notched one, so it's 2-goal game, 14-12. But yeah, I picked Vegas just because of pretty much the same reasoning. They had to win, but I also felt like their offense was a little bit stronger than San Diego's, and they would be able to cash in a few bit more. But O'Reilly area so far has been great in this game, and that's a big reason why San Diego's has the edge at this moment.
Rochester, Georgia, Part 1, 4 Eastern on Saturday. I'm going Georgia. Rochester's cooked.
Yeah, I've been thought Rochester was cooked. I ain't picked Rochester to win a game in 6 weeks or something like that. So I ain't going to change it up now, especially with the best goalie in town. So I'm going to take Georgia.
The ultimate what the fuck is going to happen in this game bowl. Ottawa at Halifax for a spot in the playoffs.
I just felt like Halifax was a safe choice at home in the nest. You got the time change. And, Ottawa's just been on a skid. I can't really trust a team that isn't playing well. I think Ottawa's lost a few more games by a few more goals, whereas Halifax, I feel, has been on the cusp or on the edge of a handful of these games recently and just hasn't been able to get over the hump. I think they get this one, solidify their playoff spot, and try and make a run. Yeah,
I have Halifax there at home, and they have Jake Withers. That's my justification there. Jake Withers has just been a fucking horse this year. So I'm going to go Halifax. We're both going Buffalo, I presume.
Yes.
I'm going to go Colorado. I already know where you're going.
Gang, gang. Calgary till I die. Big C's, bang.
So I'm going Colorado there. I'm going Toronto in the Toronto-Saskatchewan matchup.
I'm also going
Toronto.
Toronto.
Been so good and just so consistent, and Saskatchewan has just been free falling. So I'm going to go Toronto. That game is sold out too. Sold out crowd in Saskatchewan. It's going to be awesome.
I think Toronto has just hit a point where those young guys are starting to hit a stride. They feel comfortable in the league. They have the legs to go. They don't feel as tired as everybody else. And also I feel like they're kind of just hitting that adrenaline. I feel like in the beginning it was oh my God, I'm in the NLL, these jitters, like, I got to prove I belong here. And now it's like, I know I belong here. Those jitters are gone. I'm playing in the NLL and I need to prove just how good I can be in the NLL. Not that I belong here, but hey, I can be one of the best. I can take over games. I can help Toronto win. And they're doing that on a weekly basis.
San Diego, Vegas, part 2 in Vegas.
I picked Vegas to win the first one. I actually picked San Diego to win the second. Obviously, I think that might be a little bit of a flip-flop here. Either way, they're going to split, and that playoff decision will come down to how the Rochester-Georgia series goes.
Yeah, I'm going to go Vegas as the home team to get the win there and just keep things all up in the air. I'm living by the sword, dying by the sword. This is the last time I will ever get a chance to pick the Philadelphia Wings and pick them, so I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Wings.
I am not taking the Wings. I thought about it for the same reasoning. I feel like that would be kind of cool to do it, but like you brought up earlier in the episode, Vancouver's fighting for that one spot. They want that one spot. They're going to go out and battle for it, and I think they might have just a little much for Philadelphia, especially with that added vested interest and motivation for the 1 seed.
And then Sunday at 3 Eastern, Georgia and Rochester. Same justification. Rochester is chopped. They're cooked. They're skewered. Give me Georgia.
Yeah, I'm taking Georgia. This one's plain and simple. Brett Dobson and Lyle Thompson play on one team and not the other.
Yeah. So there you have it. Deej had Vegas in tonight's game. I had San Diego. We both have Georgia.
San Diego just won 14-12.
There it is. We both have Halifax. We both have Buffalo. Deej has Calgary. I have Colorado. We both have Toronto. Deej, you have San Diego. I have Vegas. Right? Is that how you were going with that one?
Yes.
Okay.
San Diego.
I'm going Philly, you're going Vancouver, and we're both going Georgia, and those are your NLL Week 21 picks of the week, brought to you by Kenwood Beer. Deej, before we get to the draft stuff, we'll split it here. Totally forgot that this happened this week just because it felt fake, but it's not. This Lacrosse video game that's allegedly coming out next week.
Yeah, it's coming out. It's happening the 24th. Sadly, I'm buying it, although I think it will be just like Casey Powell 16. My whole reasoning, regardless of how good or bad the game is, if I want a better game, if I want more lacrosse games, if I want to be able to play a lacrosse game I enjoy on a regular basis, coming out year after year with updates, I have to invest and buy in this one. It is only supposed to be like $35 or something like that.
Yeah, it's so like $34.99.
Yeah, it's not super expensive compared to other games, but it's a hefty price for a game I feel could be better based off of the technology and the graphics and things that we have of the world. Like if we can make NHL look as good as it does, we can make this game look better.
I will say I'm pretty impressed with like what it looks like compared to games of the past. Like this Mike Straw guy came out of the clouds, and like I was like, there's got to be some legitimacy to it because he's the executive editor for Insider Gaming.
I'm pretty sure he made Casey Powell 16 as well.
The developers
or the company that he's working with does.
It's cross. So he's the reporter on everything. He's not. He's just like put it out there. But it is the same company. It's Cross, who also did the PLL Top Shelf game, the mobile game. They worked on that. I will say, like, for a game, you know, the past development videos that have leaked, which some guy came out and talked to ECD Mike and said, like, he's been working on this game for 5 years. And, like, there's just been different stages of development. So, like, these videos that have come out are not the final product. I want everyone to, like, remember that. It's, like, the ones that have been tweeted, they're from a past development build. So that's not going to be what the final product really looks like. But I will say, for a game, and we've talked to Mike Rabel about this from the video game perspective, like, there's a lot that goes into it. and being able to make sure that everything is like fully functioning. And like from some of these past development videos, Deej, for a sports game that doesn't get a sports release every single year, like, and I'm not saying Madden is like the gold standard, but like a Madden, like NHL, like MLB The Show, this looks pretty fucking good for what it is. And it's only going to improve the more like build up it gets. So like you said, you're going to buy it because we want more lacrosse video games. We want the PLL to eventually develop their own video game. Like a $34.99 video game in today's day and age, that's a steal if you're a lacrosse fan. And I'm watching one of the videos right now, and like it doesn't look bad. Like this could look way worse.
Oh yes, it definitely could look way worse. I just am critical.
And for it being a past development build, like a past dev build version of it, I'm intrigued to see what the final product looks like, to see what they actually put out there. But like for what this is and what it can be, and allegedly, shout out to Matt Nessler, Cabrini's in the game. I'm pretty impressed with how this looks, and like I'm bummed I don't have a PlayStation or an Xbox to play this, but
I'll just bring mine.
Yeah,
when I
we'll stream it.
Yes, that actually is a great idea.
Yeah,
because I'm sure I'll just run you. Probably because I'll be playing it for a few months before you get a chance to play. Also, but other than that,
the best tweet of this video game coming out in response to somebody, somebody quote tweeted Mike Straw and said, "I hope there's a story mode where you graduate college and have a career in investment banking." But there's a better.
I'm screaming.
There's a better tweet. This comes from Andrew Infield at Andrew__904. I want the Pat Spencer story where I can import myself to NBA 2K.
It's so funny because like college football is connected to Madden, where like
right
after you play your Road to Glory, you can import it into Madden. That would be insane. You play, and then they're like, "Hey, so do you want to go to PLL or you want to, I don't know, join LeBron and the Lakers?"
It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, I mean, like the video game looks sick for what it is. Lacrosse 26, April 24th.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
I'm copping.
Let us know if you're copping.
So if somebody wants to buy it for me, you're more than welcome. I accept all donations.
Let us know what system you're playing it on, so that Deej can give you that work.
Whoa. Don't be throwing me out there like that. Oh, no. Some people might have better sticks than me.
But now let's talk some PLL WLL draft. It's brought to you by our PLL App Code. Guys, the PLL app is your one-stop shop to keep up to date with every single team in the PLL, keep up to date with things going on in the WLL all year long. It's a gamified app. You earn experience points for accomplishing tasks in the app every single day, and then those points go towards discounts in the PLL shop, goes towards ESPN Plus subscriptions, and so much more. Download the PLL app in the App Store, Google Play Store, and when you go to the redeem code section, type in OTBPOD. That's OTB Pod. You get 500 XP on your account. So download the PLL app. Keep up to date with everything going on throughout the league all year round in the PLL app. Code OTB Pod for 500 XP on your account. Deej, we also called it back in February when I was at Champ Series. I said, there's going to be a new jersey sponsor. I didn't think it was going to be this year. Nike, the official on-field and sideline apparel partner of the PLL and WLL.
Some people saw this coming when CJ Kurse got signed to Nike. You know, they were like, oh, you know, they might be making a push back into the lacrosse world. And I was like, I don't know. You know, that's kind of, sort of. CJ Kurse is a big name. We'll see what they're able to do. And here we are. Now, you know, they're officially linked up with the PLL. I know that they still have some stuff rolling around in the NCAA, so this is just another great chance for them to boost their brand in the lacrosse realm, and maybe they can get Lyle Thompson back in the realm, and if they're able to do an NLL PLL thing with Kirsty and Thompson, or a selection of athletes they have, that would be awesome. But this is just another one of those freshening ups by the PLL. I feel like that's something I do like about the PLO at the moment, is like there hasn't been that consistency of an apparel brand. Like, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the NBA and the NLL and such are getting like bland or repetitive. Like they're kind of just doing the same thing over and over because they've had the same apparel brand representative for X amount of years. Whereas like the PLO has consistently changed, and that's mainly due to the fact that their appeal brand representative has changed over and over. So they're incorporating new ideas. They have different minds using the brands and colorways and schemes and such to come up with different ideas. So I think it's kept it fresh, but I also do yearn for that. Hey, this is what we're going with. This is who we're going to roll with. We're going to find a way to bring to life what we want with what they have. So I think the PLL is still searching exactly for that perfect partner in the Imperial realm that will work for them. And maybe they had this idea of testing everybody out across the market to see who would be the best fit for what they have going on. But I totally like the move so far of not only Nike, but everywhere else they have gone, with all the differences that come from the design teams and the different minds and creativity pathways that get to work within the PLL and their entities.
Two things. Number one, now that they are no longer the jersey and apparel partner, is it fair to say I was wildly disappointed with Champion? Like, the throwback jerseys were awesome, but everything else, because obviously the PLL hired Indigenous artists for Indigenous Heritage Weekend. Everything else was just a major, like, meh from Champion. From the apparel to the designs, like, it was just very bland. And, like, for Champion to be, like, that OG in the lacrosse space, and they, like, it feels like they fumbled a lot when it came to PLL apparel and PLL jerseys and everything. Nike coming into the fold, my first thought, Deej, tell me if I'm crazy. When do we get PLL City Connect jerseys?
Couple of years, maybe.
PLL
maybe
City
even,
Connect,
maybe even next
rivalries
season.
jerseys, whatever they want to call them, because obviously the NFL is implementing that now with their Nike deal. Obviously MLB.
I think they would do City Connect. I think they would call them City Connect, and if they do it, it would be for the homecoming weekend to connect people to the city.
Bingo! I'm glad we're on this. This is why I missed you, dog.
I missed you too. It was only a week, but that's a week too long.
We locked in, bro.
Hey, you know we are. We've been locked in.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Since June 2021.
Homecoming weekends, City Connect jerseys. Make them fun. And that's the cool thing about the PLL. Like, I don't care what they look like. There's not that much, like, quote-unquote tradition in the PLL jerseys. So you can do whatever the hell you want, and I'll be like, that's cool. Just like I did with the Water Dogs jersey when they implemented the Kelly green on the throwback. I was like, that's cool. They've been using neon green in their branding. You bring in a green color that connects with Philadelphia because of the Eagles, and it worked. I liked it a lot. The players liked it a lot. So if we get, like, dude, like, imagine we get, like, a checkerboard, like, fucking Carolina Chaos jersey.
That'd be fire.
We get the trees back for the woods.
The trees back for the woods needs to happen now.
We get a brown jersey with green trees. Come on now.
That would be gas.
Oh, come on.
That would be gas.
Like,
and Nike would be the ones to do it.
Archers just go full royal blue and, like, invert their jerseys.
That would be gas too. You know, I think we should be on the design team.
Cannons go red with white smoke.
They definitely need another red jersey.
Outlaws finally use that badass tertiary logo.
And more orange.
Skeleton.
And more orange would be gas.
Whip snakes go yellow snakeskin like the charm.
Man, they should really bring back that.
Or they bring back teal.
The toothpaste. I'm just saying, them toothpaste
teal
jerseys
snakeskin.
Gas. They were gas in the toothpaste.
And then who else? Who am I forgetting? Oh, Atlas.
Atlas. No, you said Atlas.
No, I did Archers.
Oh, but no, because you said Atlas with the light blue. It was Archers.
I was saying Archers with the royal blue that they have like, in that jersey behind you. Like they invert it.
I was thinking the solar blue Atlas is what I was thinking at that time.
Atlas go like that purple. That's like their third color that doesn't really get used a lot. They go like purple with like a neat or like the like solar blue accents.
Solar blue, yeah.
That'd be sick.
All right, Nike, PLL, you heard it here first.
How you doing? We got you.
Heard it here first.
But yeah, that was my first immediate thought is like PLL City Connects are gonna go crazy, and then we finally get third jerseys.
I would love City Connects for PLL.
It'd be so sick. Leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/OTBLaxPod with your PLL City Connect concepts. PLL draftees. We'll start with the PLL. Crazy night. We were live, obviously. I was at ESPN HQ. Got a chance to talk to Chris Bates, Bill Tierney, and Joe Spallina after the draft. A little history in this draft. The first ever short stick defensive midfielder to go number 1 overall, where leading up, I was fully slotting this player to go number 3 to the Whip Snakes. You were wondering whether or not he would go in the first round at one point.
Yes, I did.
And he goes number 1 overall to the Utah Archers, who arguably have the best short stick room in the league. And that's Aiden McGuire from Duke University. Goes number 1 overall. Congrats to Aiden. It's a hell of an accomplishment. Chris Bates gave me the justification. He said they're going to play different this year. And I don't know exactly what that means. He said that he immediately texted the other 3 short sticks and said, let me see the exact transcription I have here. He basically told them to go and get your... So I want to pull this up properly so I don't misquote Bates here. He said that he texted their 3D middies and said, get your pick and roll, get your shooting, like we're going to play differently. So that's at that end of the field. But defensively, like you can't beat a shorty. You have trouble, winning those matchups. Like it's like having a shutdown corner. So, we feel like another really good matchup for us. And mention that like you lose Graham Hosick. You figure again, some teams have 3 dodging attackmen. He mentioned the Water Dogs by name are going to be tough in some regard. But where does most offense generate from? Short stick D middies. And we've got 4 really good ones, and Aiden steps in right away, and he's, the real deal.
So what I just heard in all of that is they're not going to have offensive and defensive midfield. They're just going to have midfield, and everybody's going to have to play both sides of the ball.
He said
if you
can't, are going to stay on the field, like that.
And if you can't, you won't have a game day spot.
Yep.
In my opinion, that's where the PLL was headed.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Bates has the balls to be the first one to officially do it.
And I think everybody's going to call him crazy.
I think everybody's been tinkering with the idea, like the Woods at the end of last season, only running 2 short stick D mids, right? Like I think even some of the other teams throughout the league allowed their mids to stay on a little bit longer than they would in the past. So like the markings were already written in the wall. It was just a matter of which team or teams would make that jump first and decide
Brian
to do
Holman's
it.
done that a ton.
I say
He
and decide
said
to
every
do it
short stick
100%
has the green
of the
light to
time.
shoot except for Zach Goodrich.
Yeah, but he wasn't asking Matt Campbell and Ryan Drenner and those guys to like play a lot of defense.
Right.
Whereas like now it sounds like Bates is going to be the first guy to say, hey, we're eliminating the O and D mid specializations. You're a midi. And if you can't play midi, you can't play for me.
Right.
And I think everybody's going to follow suit pretty soon because like the way that the Archers are going to start playing based off of that change is going to force the rest of the league's hand to adjust to that and pretty much play in the same way if they want to have success against them and beat them. So I think they're pretty much just ahead of the curve and what was already on its way for the PLL.
Feels very Sixes Olympics coded too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very.
So Aiden goes 1, which turned the draft board all on its head. Mikey Weishauer goes 2 to the Cannons. We were live when this happened. I still don't know because the Cannons roster is still such a jumbled, weird situation that I don't know how I feel about this pick. But I will say, we talked about it a little bit when we were live. Getting Gleishauer, who's a smaller guy, into that Boston lineup and getting coached by a smaller guy in Will Manny, I think is going to be a huge thing for him at the pro level. And that's why I like this more probably than a lot of people. I don't think Mikey Weishauer is the final piece of the puzzle to this Cannons midfield. But I think Will Manny's going to be able to tap into him and like unlock some things that he hasn't been able to do at Towson and really make him like a bona fide, like lethal weapon running out of the box.
I just don't know how he fits into their system that they already have there with, you know, the shooters and the offensive makeup they have at attack between Coulter Mackesy, Marcus Holman, and Asher Nolting. But I do think there's space for him in certain sets where they want another shooter from the top. Mm-hmm. I think he can really benefit them in some man-up situations. I think he can benefit them late game when they're searching for twos. And I also think he can benefit them in transition, coming right out of the box in a situation where they're able to get some numbers. There's some serious places where he can play well within the midfield, but I personally feel he would be a better talent in the PLL if he's able to play attack, his natural position, and be a spot-up shooter, very similar to a Ryan Brown that we've seen from the last couple of years, even Chris Kavanaugh from last year. If he's able to play more of that kind of role, I feel like he would be better, but I feel like it's going to be hard for him to crack that role based off of what Boston already has. But if Coulter Mackesy is willing to play out of the mid and run out of the box and open up that offense and allow him, Weishauer, to play on the wing and be that shooter type role, that could work as well. There's some moving pieces that exist here that could make this move work. And I'm not saying it won't work just because they have him running out of the box or whatever. I just feel like it would be better if he's able to play down at attack. Not only just because of his size, but just his style of play, I feel fits a wing shooter better than an up top shooter / dodger.
And then with the 3rd overall pick, the boy gets drafted. One of our long time, like there have been college draft prospects and college player prospects that we have like attached ourselves to as like that's our guy for a long time. The OG one was Asher Nolting with me and Dom. Like that was from the jump. Asher Nolting was a guy for OTB. The number 3 overall pick in this draft, like I gotta say, he's going to be a future friend of the program. He's a current listener of the program. It was a cool moment watching it. I was stoked for him. Like it was one of those moments where like a lot of these college guys we don't really know yet until they come in like on a personal level. We've known and like interacted with this person for years. So to see Joey Spallina's name get called on draft night was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it was one of those like, all right, we can say it's been done. Like we knew it was coming. It was just a matter of when, and it's here. It happened. None of us could have imagined he would be falling to 3. None of us could have imagined he would be a water dog. No,
Whip snake.
No, whip snake. Yes, that still hurts to say. That's so nasty, bro. Oh my god. Ew. Ew, bro. Ew. How am I supposed to cheer against JS22, dog? I literally have to when he plays the Woods. This is disgusting.
Luckily, it's a different conference for you. I do think from just like an overall lacrosse perspective, too, it's really fucking cool that he gets to play with Rob.
Yeah, I think that's something he was hoping for. Yeah, not only just a relationship, but the way he looks up to him, the type of player that he is, and how he's modeled some parts of his game behind him. I think it's really awesome to be able to play with a role model like that and to be able to get a little bit of time to learn from them and spend with them and bond with them. I think it's just going to make him a better pro player. Even if he doesn't actually learn anything from him, even if he never plays a second with him in a game on the field, having that experience of being in the same locker room as him, being a teammate of his, being able to talk to him, bounce ideas, and look at the way he approaches the game, plays the game, feels the game, etc., will be a huge benefactor for Joey and how he progresses in his professional career and where he takes his game. I think there's a portion of Joey's game that hasn't been unlocked yet, and Rob may be able to help him progress and flourish into that.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Joe after the draft and kind of just asked him like his range of emotions, and Joe was basically like, I'm glad I get to just be a dad and watch his games and not have to worry about the other stuff. But he also said like, this is the first time that Joey's not the number one option. Like his whole life he's been the guy, and now he kind of gets to like get those off-kiltered matchups, and it'll be a way for him to learn, but also like you're going to see a different style of Joey Spallina now because he's not getting that number one matchup all the time.
Yeah, like he might pop off for a couple 5-6 point games because
like some team might be silly enough to give him a shorty and he's going to make them look stupid.
I don't know about that. Maybe a Danny Logan type, but he ain't going to be getting just a random shorty.
Hey, I mean, I know we question a lot about that Whipsnakes offense to a degree, but like it's going to be some interesting matchups there because obviously TJ is TJ. Aiden Carroll is like versatile and he can go midfield, he can go attack. Rob will just do Rob things. Joey's going to get some interesting matchups this year, and some teams are going to make Joey's going to make some teams pay, and it's going to be fucking sick as hell to watch. So shout out to the boy, future guest of the program, Joey Spallina. Then the draft, we thought the draft was already turned on its head. Then the draft really got turned on its head because Spencer Ford went full GM mode and traded the 4th overall pick to the Denver Outlaws in exchange for the 7th pick, the 22nd pick, and the 28th pick. The Chaos went into this draft with 2 picks, and they walked away with 4 players. I mean, this was just GM masterclass from Spencer Ford. And this is why GMs matter. This is why having a split role matters. To be able to walk away with the guy that you would have taken it for at 7 and then get 2 additional picks that you were able to build out more of this Carolina Chaos roster to fit Stephen Brooks' system that he wants to implement. I mean, Spencer Ford, job well done, my friend.
Beautiful job. Phenomenal job. I feel like they arguably had the best draft of the year.
Yeah. They are in the S tier for me of drafts. And with that 4th overall pick, the Outlaws have everyone drop their jaws. They take Evan Plunkett from Army. Deej, we couldn't believe this when it happened in the moment. I still can't, and this is no slight to Evan. It's just Pseudo could have gotten him at 7. That's the big thing for me is like Pseudo didn't have to trade those picks and could have gotten his guy at 7 because let's be real. Chaos probably take Chad at 4, who they end up taking at 7. Chad Palumbo. Shout out to the boy. The Water Dogs are still taking Silas Richmond in that situation. And I guarantee the Redwoods are still taking Mikey Leo in that situation at 6. Like, Evan Plunkett being on the board is not swaying Philly, California, or Carolina if Carolina stays at 4. It was the most preposterous draft day trade that I could remember in PLL history.
For me, it's the military obligations.
And that's the other part of it.
You don't know how long you have this guy. Maybe it's a 1-year rental. Maybe it's 2. Maybe it's a completely different scenario, but you don't know. And we also don't know that he comes back after his military obligations. Maybe he plays a year or 2, goes to military, and never comes back. Mm-hmm. God forbid we go to war and he dies. Like, there's just so many unknowns about what happens with military guys, knowing that they have to go play serve those obligations. Everybody knows it. When you come out of the academy, you're going to serve at some point. I'm not sure I would have taken him first round. Not sure I would have drafted up to pick this guy. Maybe at 7. Maybe at 7. But
let me just speak for us too.
Even
we hope he proves us wrong.
Right. I mean, I'm not even saying he was a wrong pick. Skill-wise, he's a top 4 guy.
Yeah.
We're not saying that part. It's the everything else that comes with selecting him that makes this a questionable pick. I'm not even sure I would have picked him at 7. And once again, not because he's not skillful enough to be picked at 7.
But it's just the risk. Does the risk outweigh the reward?
Not even the risk. Looking at the way the rest of the draft was picked, nobody was sniffing for a guy like Evan Plunkett. Like, the picks that were made weren't Evan Plunkett-like. If there were some other guys on the board that were similar to Evan Plunkett that got pulled off the board in some spots, I would be like, okay, it makes sense on why he kind of moved up and did that. And not necessarily that it made sense, but I could justify it in some way and go, okay, I see where he was coming from. I see the thought process he has. I didn't see that at all. I felt like he could have waited 3rd, 4th, or even waited and just signed him undrafted because it didn't seem like other GMs were checking for him. But then again, we're not in the rooms. We don't know what these guys are hearing. We don't know the rumblings. We don't know the conversations they've had with these players on if other teams have reached out to them, etc. So there's a lot of moving pieces that could have influenced his decision. But outside looking in, not the one I would have made.
Yeah. And then we kind of mentioned it already. 5th overall, the Water Dogs go Silas Richmond. 20 minutes after he gets drafted, he scores a goal as Albany was playing on draft night. I love this pick. The more I see this and the more that, like, I just think about what this pick truly means, because let's also not forget, like, post-draft, I was, like, thinking about this, like, and Coach Tierney brought it up to me. Like, the Water Dogs are not going to have Silas until June because of the Canadian work visa stuff. So, like, you're not going to have to worry about Silas or their 2nd round pick, which we'll get to, in Matt Collison, because they both have to get their work visas coming from Canada. So you can kind of focus on the guys you have already, and then you're going to have mercenaries coming in as your fresh draft picks in June, which is awesome for this team. And Bill Tierney talked about this too. And Kark and Boyle said it too. The Water Dogs attack line is set for the next decade. The next decade, you're going to be able to roll out CJ Kurse, Michael Sowers, and Silas Richmond as your 3 attackmen every game day. Like, I feel like damn near any team would love to sign up for that. And they're only going to get better, and they're all so different. And you're still going to have Kieran McCardle on this team. You're still going to have Zed Williams on this team, which you and I are both kind of like going chrome foil hat and would love to see Zed pick up a pole. But this attack group is fucking nuclear. And we were already talking about it during the offseason when they signed Gavin Adler. I don't really see a hole on this team when this Water Dogs team is at full strength. Like, you look at this roster top to bottom, and I said it on Underground, at minimum, this Water Dogs team should go 8-4 in a 12-game season. With the talent they have, top to bottom, an 8-4 DJ in an Eastern Conference that's set up the way that it is, where Atlas lose their best defender. They have 2 brand new coordinators on the sideline with Pressler, bunch of new pieces coming in. The Boston Cannons are in a weird spot where, like, could kind of be just like a reset, reshape year. And then the Whip Snakes are the Whip Snakes. Like, they're inevitable. The Water Dogs should win the Eastern Conference based on talent alone.
I mean, the offense looks great. I think the defense has some questions, but not because of skill, but because of, like, there's still a lot of young guys that haven't, like, fully proven themselves at the pro level. But they're young and they want to prove that they're that good. They're hungry to be some of the best. So, like, they have that on their side as well. They have Bill and his lacrosse mind on their side. They have DeLuca and a great goalie room. Like, you know, Stathakis at the X. Like, they have all of the pieces to be uberly successful. I think kind of their age and some nuances with the coaching realm at the new level for Bill kind of got in their way the last couple of years. But one thing I think I can say, in my opinion, is Bill over the last 2 years as the GM, granted that's changing now that they're going to be getting an actual GM, has been phenomenal and has made fantastic roster moves in trying to make this team competitive. And adding Silas was just the most recent. And whether Zed plays pole or attack or mid or wherever they put these guys, it's putting you in a position where you can't really slide from anyone. And you have to play tremendous one-on-one defense, which we know in lacrosse at any level is hard.
Mm-hmm. And like, shout out to Albany, man. They just produce dudes. Like,
literally just
no
dudes.
other. Like, dudes across the board, from our guy Jake Pacino, our guy Connor Fields, Tahoka. Like, they got dudes. And now Silas Richmond is one of those dudes. And he was on the Through X series on TLN and basically said he had 2 D1 offers, Albany and another school, and his goal has been to play pro lacrosse. There was no plan B. That's a guy I want on my roster if I'm a coach, if I'm a GM. That's the type of guy I want in my locker room.
A guy that got that much confidence in himself and his ability to play at any level and, you know, have success and be one of the best, not only in the country, but in the world, is the kind of confidence you need at any given time in lacrosse, regardless of who you are. I'll take a guy who's nowhere near as good, but will work as hard and believe he's the best player on the field, than a guy that knows he's the best player on the field, but then won't work hard or really believe it.
And I mean, for all intents and purposes, there was a lot of people thinking Silas could go number 1 overall. So I mean, the fact that the Water Dogs got him at 5 is a quote-unquote steal. Next pick, the Redwoods. They go Mikey Leo, Syracuse. I love this pick. The more I look at this pick, the more I love this pick too. And talking to Joe about it, like, this is a slam dunk pick for the Redwoods at 6.
I mean, he gets paired back up with Sammy English, who he did some midfield work with at Syracuse, so I think that'll be great. he's going into a place where there's a possibility he ends up on that wing that he was playing on at Syracuse and gets to be the shooter and dodger and feeder that he was there. Maybe he slides in the midfield and just gets to be an arbitrary piece that's supportive and adds to what is already there. I mean, there's so many options for him within this offense. Me personally, I would have liked Chad Palumbo here a little bit more. I brought that up in multiple ways. But Mikey Leo was also on my list. So I don't hate that the Redwoods picked him. I think he fits into this offense. I think he adds a little bit more of a skill component, or not skill, a speed component than what Palumbo does. But I feel Palumbo's shot and playmaking abilities were a little bit better than Leo, but they're both going to bring tremendous shots to this offense. And they bring playmaking in different ways. Just ends up Leo is the one that's going to put on the green instead of Chad.
The fact that you bring up the speed thing too, like you're gonna be able to pair Mikey Leo with Andrew McAdory. Like, good luck. As speed, as ka-chow.
And then you still got to deal with the brute strength of Dylan Malloy.
And Aiden Denenza.
And Denenza,
Romar.
Right.
Like,
and then you still have to deal with the craftiness that is Chris Kavanaugh. Like, this offense can attack you in so many different ways.
It's gonna be sick. I love that pick. It's one of my favorite picks of the draft.
Phenomenal pick.
One of my other favorite picks, the fact that he goes at 7 after the trade. This is a OTB trademark, copyright, all rights reserved 2026. We got to get him on the pod too, so we can get him to say it. Deej, I Palumbo, you Palumbo, he, she, we, Palumbo, Palumbo wing, Palumbology, the study of Chad Palumbo. Come on, Deej, it's 3rd grade. Chad Palumbo, 7th overall. I fucking love this pick. He is perfect for this Chaos team. And he is a Stephen Brooks player through and through. Slam dunk pick. And the fact that they were able to move back, get other picks, and still get their guy makes it that much better.
Yeah. I mean, it puts them in a position where they were able to add talent to the talent they were going to get. Like, hey, I like this because we can go and get our guy in a couple of picks and then turn around and get a couple more guys to add to that are only going to make us better. We should definitely give him that pick so he can go and draft Evan Plunkett. Yes. There's no way he wasn't thinking all of this.
Love the pick there for the Carolina Chaos. He is a perfect Chaos player. And then the final pick of the first round, first pick for new Atlas GM. I want to pull up his name correctly because I only met him once, but he was awesome, and we got to get him on the show. We got to make the connections there because the Atlas hired a GM right before the draft pretty much, which was sick. And that is Tyler Lowe, the first pick of the Tyler Lowe era, Deej. Alex Ross, Penn State. There's your Gavin Adler replacement. Big shoes to fill, buddy, but I love the pick.
Huge shoes to fill.
Love the pick. You throw Alex Ross, Brett Makar, and then however you want to slice and dice it, whether it's Michael Grace, Eli Gobrecht, what have you, that's still a very strong defense for the New York Atlas. And I think Alex Ross is going to be a very, very good pro.
Yeah, he's going to be a phenomenal pro. I mean, he has great on-ball skills. He's great picking the ball up off the ground and moving it. He's good in transition. He talks well. And, he just brings good energy to the team on the defensive end and into the locker room and the huddle. So he's, in my opinion, very similar to Glaze from a few years ago.
Yep.
In the Woods. So, granted, he's not putting on a Woods jersey, but he's definitely going to a spot that needs that kind of defender.
I forget if it was Boyle or Kark, but one of them said that on the draft broadcast too. Like their comp was Glaze. So a huge get there for the Atlas, especially after the Outlaws don't take a defenseman. Second round, we'll run through the picks, and I'll let you kind of highlight which picks you liked. I'll highlight mine that I liked. I love this round overall. Honestly, this was a very fun second round that I think is going to be littered with like longtime pros. The Archers go Ryan Steins, number 9 overall. The Utah product goes to the hometown team. Hunter Smith, shout out to the Spiders, goes to the Boston Cannons. Billy Dwan III goes to the Whipsnakes, stays teammates with Joey Spallina. Ty English goes to the Carolina Chaos, stays in Carolina. Matt Collison, like we mentioned, goes to the Water Dogs. Cullen Brown from Ohio State goes to the Redwoods. Will Donovan falls all the way to pick 15 and goes to the Boston Cannons. And Luke Roa goes to the New York Atlas. Syracuse kid stays in New York. I love damn near every pick in this round for where each guy ended up going.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was a really good round. I think this round was a little more catered toward what teams need and fitting into what they already have and trying to make their team better. I think round 1, they kind of – I don't even know how to explain round 1 if I'm
just
being
threw
honest.
the whole draft on its head.
It did.
It was unadulterated, just like pandemonium.
It was really weird. I really like Hunter Smith and Will Donovan going to the Cannons. They needed more polls in depth, and they needed more guys to come in right away. I mean, Hunter Smith is most likely going to play right away without Garrett Epple returning. Will Donovan will most likely play right away because of a depth issue. So they needed these guys to come in and play right away. Billy Dwan, is Matt done with a more eagerness to shoot and a more dangerous shot? He wants to handle the ball. He wants to push the ball. He wants to score. He's comfortable being on the offensive end, but he's also an absolute lockdown defender. He's also going to talk his head off. He's also going to be a leader and an emotional leader on the defensive end. But so he's basically just, like I said, Matt Dunn, but you're adding a willing and more dangerous shot to an already great defender. So I really like him going to Whipsnakes and essentially being the replacement for Matt Dunn.
Or Tim Muller.
I mean, honestly, or Tim Muller, which he'll probably end up replacing Tim Muller first.
Yeah.
But he plays a lot more similarly to Matt Dunn. So eventually when Matt Dunn's over, he'll slide over and take Dunn's spot and
the fact
be the new Matt Dunn.
The fact that they're already, like, the Whipsnakes are already building out that defense. You're going to have Ajax and Billy Dwan III on that defense for, like, the next 10 years at least is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that, like I said, that defense is still going to be really good. That's something that Stags has always been great at, is
also
putting
to add
a good defense together.
The Will Donovan pick completed the Pat Cavanaugh trade with the Outlaws and the Cannons.
And the other 2 picks in this for me was Matt Collison go to the Water Dogs. I think he's something they needed. They needed more shooting from up top after they've lost Brown and Caraway and a few others over the last couple of years. He comes in and adds a downhill dodging, aggressive step down shooter like Miles Jones, Sergio Perkovic, Matt Campbell type player into the Water Dogs offense, which in my opinion they needed.
They couldn't score from the midfield last year.
Yeah. And I mean, even if he doesn't come in and be aggressive as far as dodging and all of that, just his presence up top as a shooter that is going to stretch out the field and open up avenues for passes and cuts and dodges is going to be immaculate.
And the fact that he gets to be teammates with Miles Jones and Jack Hanna and kind of like learn the nuances of the PLL midfield there with 2 guys who have similar body types to him is just a match made in heaven. And this is another guy too. Matt Collison was getting mocked to the Water Dogs as a first-round pick. So again, the fact that they got him in the second round, it's very similar to Tierney's first draft, where a lot of people thought he was going to go Kenny Brower in the first round, and they got him in the second round because of his injury. Collison's not injured. It's just the way the draft board fell, and Tierney was thrilled that Matt Collison was there. I love Ty English going to Carolina, too. I think that's a sneaky, like, fun, perfect pickup for a position of need, but a very talented player.
I mean, yeah, Ty English is good. I didn't feel like they needed this pick as much as some of the others needed their picks in this second round. I think he was just a good addition, in my opinion. Like, okay, this is what you have on your squad. How can you bolster it? You don't need another attackman. You maybe could go for another midfielder on the offense if you wanted to. You surely don't need another pole. Maybe you take another goalie. You don't need another face-off. But you can always take another short stick D mid. I feel like short stick D mids get run down. They're dodged on a lot. They run a lot. They're handling a lot of pressure. They're running in off of wings and being involved in ground ball scrums left and right. You got to have, I'm not going to say a lot of them, but you got to be prepared to kind of switch out on a regular. And this was a really good pick to me.
And a team like Carolina where Christian Scarpello is a high school coach, so he's not going to be available right away to start the season. Mark Lassini is not getting any younger, and that's no offense to Glick. He's 33. Glick and I are almost the same age, and he's got a lot of tread on the tires. Ray Dirth and Greg Langermeyer are very unproven in the PLL. So to bring in Ty English for not only depth, but a guy who is very talented, who's on a very talented North Carolina team, and you keep him in market, I think it's a slam dunk pick there. Who Hoots and I last week said Ty was probably the second best shorty in this draft behind Ada McGuire. So love that pick for Carolina. And I love the Cannons picks in this round. I love Luke Roa going to Atlas too. That's just unbelievable. The rich get richer in terms of offensive production. And I love Matt Collison going to the Water Dogs. Third round. The unknown, but then became known because I feel like you don't draft this guy unless you know that he's not going back. Will Schaller goes to the Archers with the first pick in the third round. Logan Ip goes to the Cannons. The Harvard Yard boy stays home. Blake Island goes to the Whipsnakes. Jack Regnieri, D3, stand up.
D3 gang.
Josh Yago goes to the Water Dogs in the third round. Eric Spanos falls all the way to 22 to the Carolina Chaos. The Water Dogs take Brendan Staub from Cornell with the 23rd pick. And then Nico DiPonio goes to the Atlas with the final pick of the third round. The Staub pick was acquired pre-draft by the Water Dogs from the Outlaws in exchange for Ben Randall, which Bill Tierney kind of broke that trade down to me. We put the clip out on social. I feel like it was the first time in a long time, Deej, or potentially the first time ever, with the salary cap and everything, that a trade was kind of triggered by the salary cap, which is it's proof that the PLL is working.
Mm-hmm.
Tierney justified the trade, basically saying you're almost getting two guys for one because of the salary cap. Ben Randall's going to get paid by the Outlaws, but now you get to bring in a rookie contract with Staub, and you still have guys on rookie contracts like Jimmy Freehill, Kenny Brower, Marcus Hudgens, Ben Weyer, and then you gave big money to Gavin Adler. So, like, your defense is all on rookie contracts, including Staub now, outside of Gavin Adler, where you don't trade Ben Randall, you're paying Ben Randall and Gavin Adler, and it limits the depth that you kind of get on your defense. I was like, that's a fascinating little nugget there in terms of why the trade happened. And Tierney was made it a point to give his flowers to Ben Randall. He said he and Ben Randall talk to each other every Monday to talk about matchups and everything. But I think Ben Randall's going to thrive with the Outlaws too. We always talk about this, Deej, when we do like revisionist history on these PLL drafts. This is going to be a fun third round to look back in. Not even 5 years from now, but like 3 years from now.
Oh yeah. Like I said during the draft, like I literally cannot wait to redo this draft because it is insane. There's going to be so many undrafted players that end up in this draft.
Like Schaller going in the third round, obviously the injury impacts that. But if he comes back to being the player that he is, holy shit.
He's very good. And I hate to say it as a Michigan fan, but
he's so good.
God, he's extremely good.
Like, you had a second lieutenant in the Space Force get drafted in this round in Josh Yago. I mean, Spanos, you know, there's a lot of people who question his game in just a creativity standpoint, but to get a player of his caliber who can score in the third round, if you're the Chaos, you gotta love that, especially for a team that does need attackmen, because half of their attack group's going to be out to start the season because they're all NLL guys. This was a good, awesome, let's get some depth and potentially these guys turn into starters for us down the line round of a PLL draft. This was an awesome round. When the picks were flying, I was just like, oh, this rocks. This was a fun third round.
This third round for me, I mean, it was a little more just like to me, the third round was the real, like, okay, this thing's off the rocker. It was just a lot of names I didn't expect to get called. The first name, I expected those names to get called, maybe not in the first round. This third round was, some of these guys was like, really? That's who you went with? No disrespect to any of those guys. I just feel like there were maybe some guys ahead of them that didn't get picked that definitely could have helped these teams out. Obviously, I do believe the coaches can see skill and recruit skill and notice it a lot better than I can, and will be able to get what they're looking for out of these players. But if you ask me, like, we're crazy to not have picked some of the guys that were left on the board. But yeah, that's the main thing for me is it just was so many guys I didn't expect to see picked at all that went in this third round. And I'm excited to see what they do. I think they're complete underdogs and are coming in playing with house money. A lot of these guys maybe not expecting much out of them in terms of opponents that they'll play. Mm-hmm. They kind of maybe don't know, especially like the D3, D2 guys. Like, those are guys that get looked at kind of like, well, we haven't seen a lot of you. We don't know what you're doing, what you're capable of. You have to show us. And then, you know, they end up doing a lot of wild things, or they don't, and it all pans out the way it does. But the third round just really, for me, went, these GMs / coaches are bonkers.
This third round gave me 2023 draft third round vibes. Can I list off the third round in 2023 for you? And looking at some of these picks, it won't shock me if some of the guys in this year's third round lined up like 2023's third round. And this is all complimentary for the most part. 2023's third round, Deej. Ty Kurtz to Chaos. Cole Kirst to the Redwoods. Peyton Razanka to the Atlas. Jack Myers to Chrome. Piper Bond to the Archers. Garrett Ledman to the Whipsnakes. Nick Rowlett to Chaos. Chris Fake to the Water Dogs. You look at that list, there's Ty Kurtz, who's now back in the PLL. Cole Kirst, who #free my mans. Peyton Razanka, who is a very solid pro. Jack Myers finds a way to bounce around the Outlaws roster every single week and is able to stick around in the league. Piper Bond is an all-world short stick D-midi. Garrett Ledman's retired. Nick Rowlett has proven he can hold his weight as long as he's healthy in the PLL. And Chris Fake is a starting defenseman on a different team, but is a starting defenseman in the PLL. I look at this year's third round and I'm like, it won't shock me if there's a lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
3 years from now.
Like I said, I wasn't expecting none of these homies to be called. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of them didn't stick around long. And like I said, that's no slight at them. It's just based off the PLL, based off of who these teams have, based off of how their college careers went, and so many different things. Like, there's so many factors that go into such a short draft like this that you feel like a lot of people will get left out. So this was just a surprising round for me.
And then the fourth round, the Archers go Leo Johnson from Maryland. The Redwoods go Marcus Wertheim from Brown. Eric Kolar goes to the Whipsnakes. Peter Detweiler goes to the Chaos. D2 Nation Kyle Lewis from Adelphi goes to the Water Dogs. Dante Bowen goes to the Redwoods. Jack Taylor goes to the Outlaws. And Mr. Irrelevant, quote unquote, which this pick was acquired by the Maryland Whipsnakes prior to the draft from the New York Atlas in exchange for Levi Anderson. Braden Erksa goes to the Whipsnakes. Deej, your thoughts on the fourth round? Because this is a fun round, and I think the Redwoods knocked this round out of the park.
I think the Redwoods did good. You can never go wrong getting a short stick D-mid or a midi. You always need to add those to your roster and be able to have depth there and continue to bolster those positions. I really like the Leo Johnson pick for the Archers. We know how injury-laden their offensive side of the ball has been over the last couple of years, and they just need some consistency and options down there. And I think Leo Johnson is a shooter that can replace and or help what you already have there. And will really only add to it if you decide not to get rid of anything and everybody comes back and everybody's healthy. He's just another option that defenses have to worry about stopping. So that was a phenomenal pick there. And then the Whipsnakes taking another Maryland guy in Erksa and adding more speed and vision to their attack/midfield line is just dangerous. I think this was another one of the 2 and 4 were my favorite rounds of this draft because I felt like GMs and coaches were truly thinking about their team, the future of their team, who they currently have on their team, how these pieces are skill-wise and mental-wise, emotion-wise, personality-wise will fit on their team. And they went and got guys that will slide right in and not only be effective, but will be great teammates and help their culture continue to move forward.
Yeah, and I mean, excuse me, the depth in the fourth round is like when I talked to Joe, he told me they were thinking about trading up into the third round, depending on how the board fell, to take either Wertheim or Dante. And the board fell the way that it did, and they were able to get both guys in the fourth round, and they didn't have to move out of one of their picks. So the fact that they got two guys that were on their board in the fourth round, didn't have to move for them, is huge. Joe is huge on Wertheim. He was like, that dude doesn't get enough love because he goes to Brown. He was like, he's going to be an absolute lethal shooter in the PLL. They're very excited about Marcus Wertheim with the California Redwoods. Dante Bowen also plays with Joey in Orangeville during the summer. So there's a history there, and obviously Syracuse as well. So Joe knows Dante very well. And Dante also gives the Redwoods a little bit of a different look at short stick. Like, he's a bigger, thicker, like, short stick D-midi compared to some of the guys on the roster already. So I like that pick a lot. Kyle Lewis. We've been talking about Kyle Lewis the past couple years, Deej. He's a fucking demon.
When we saw him at the link, we were like, hey, dude's special. He's special. And awesome. Look at where he's at 2 years later.
2 years later, ends up in Philly in that midfield. I loved that pick. Shout out to the guy, Dan Arestia. He also put out an article detailing all of the updates on the trades that have happened that finally came to be because of the draft picks. Like we mentioned, the Pat Cav / Owen Grant deal has finally come to a resolution. So the original trade was the Cannons receive a first-round pick in 2025, second-round pick in 2026 for Pat Cav. The Redwoods received a 2025 first-round pick from the Kavanaugh deal and a fourth-round pick in 2026. The Cannons receive Owen Grant. The final result of that trade, Deej, Cannons receive Owen Grant, Will Donovan. Redwoods receive Sam English, Marcus Wertheim. Outlaws receive Pat Cav. I don't know if there's ever been a win-win-win trade in the history of sports like this one.
Everybody won. I mean, it worked out perfectly. Obviously, hindsight, we're saying that. In the moment, a lot of people had questions. But this could arguably go down as one of the most even trades in sports history.
The Carolina Chaos are the next one involved here. The original deal was from March 15th, 2025. The Outlaws received a 2026 fourth-round pick. Chaos received Josh Zawada. Then on June 9th, 2025, the Outlaws receive the California Redwoods third-round pick in the 2026 draft, and the Redwoods receive Sam Handley. And then draft day, the Outlaws Chaos trade that went down. Final result, Outlaws receive Evan Plunkett, Redwoods receive Sam Handley, Chaos receive Josh Zawada, Chad Palumbo, Eric Spanos, Peter Detweiler. To which Dan wrote, Spencer Ford seriously hit the draft day, I want my picks back bit.
Like, hey, let me get them now.
I mean, Carolina wins this one, flat out. Obviously, Plunkett is PLL unproven, and Sam Handley is Sam Handley.
Sam Handley is...
Yep.
We ain't going to talk about that.
Other deals. Original terms. Chaos received the best third-round pick in 2026. Cannons received Chaos's best third-round pick in 2026. Chaos received Chris Aslanian and Carter Parlett. Final result, Chaos received Chris Aslanian and Carter Parlett. Cannons received Jack Regnieri. The Outlaws and Water Dogs trade ended up being Ben Randall for Brendan Staub. And then the Levi Anderson trade ended up being Levi Anderson for Braden Erksa.
I feel like most of the trades have been pretty even.
Mm-hmm. Outside of the Chaos fleecing.
Yeah, that was bad.
Also, shout out to Dan. Go read his article. He was conjoined to the hip with Joe Spallina on draft day, and it had been months in the making. Where there was a situation, Deej, that if Joey fell to 4, he would have been a Redwood.
Oh, yeah, he would have.
There was a trade, and Joe confirmed this to me after the draft. He said there was a deal in place submitted to the league that if Joey fell one more spot, Joey would have been a California Redwood.
God damn it. So close.
Crazy. Who are your winners and losers of the draft? I have 4 winners, I think.
I think I have everybody winning but Archers. And I don't even have the Archers really losing. I just think they weren't smart for not taking Joey. I don't think anybody had a bad draft. I just feel like it was very, very unexpected.
I think one team had a bad draft. Denver Outlaws. They had a bunch of needs just because of age. And like obviously we found out pre-draft Mike Manley's coming back. But they wound up with 2 players. I did not like.
I more so don't like the trade, not their draft. I feel like they did okay with their picks that they got in the draft, but I don't think that trade was smart.
Which I think tanks their overall draft grade for me. Their process was bad.
I don't factor in trades into draft, if that makes sense. Like when I look at a draft, I look at who did you pick. So like in terms of draft and the picks that they had in this draft that they actually got to use, I think they did okay. Like I said, I still wouldn't have picked Plunkett when I picked them.
That's what I was going to say. I also look at who you took and where you took them.
Other than that, I think, looking at who they picked, like position type and how it fits into the team and their needs and such, I'm good with that. I just think they maybe should have kept at least one of those picks and got another poll. But then again, I'm not in their rooms having these conversations and knowing what their roster and stuff fully looks like. So I don't know all of the factors that go into making their decisions, but I definitely would have held on to at least one of those picks.
The winners for me, no particular order, Carolina Chaos, slam dunk of a draft for Spencer Ford and Stephen Brooks. Philadelphia Water Dogs, hell of a fucking draft for Billy T and Dave Cottle. I think the Whipsnakes won the draft. You get Joey Spallina and Billy Dwan back-to-back rounds, and then you're able to get Blake Island to add to your short stick room. You get another short stick in Eric Kolar in the 4th round, and then you get Braden Erksa on that attack group to round out your draft. Awesome draft for Stags. I love the Cannons draft overall. Like, yes, you and I are like speculative about the Mikey Weishauer pick, but like we like him as a prospect. We're intrigued to see what Brian and Will do with him. But then you look at the rest of their draft. Hunter Smith to add to that defensive group. We've said all offseason they need a pull. Like, they can't go into the season with the guys that they have. Great pick there. And then you get Will Donovan as well, who's versatile, can do a lot for you. Love that pick. I like the Logan Ip pick for them, too, in that midfield. It gives them a little more versatility, gives them some fresh legs. Jack Regnieri's a fun pick. We'll see what happens there with him. I like the Cannons draft a lot. And I think the Redwoods had a slam dunk draft, too, to get Mikey Leo in the 1st, to go and get Cullen Brown in the 2nd, to give you a versatile pole who can play LSM, can play close D. I like that pick a lot. And then you get 2 guys that you wanted on your board in Wertheim and Dante Bowen in the 4th round. Love that draft for Joe Spallina and Anthony Kelly. Atlas, I think, did fine. I like the Alex Ross pick a lot. I like the Luke Roa pick a lot. We'll see how Nico fits into the equation and where they play him. And then essentially their 4th round pick was Levi Anderson.
Which is fire. That's a good pick.
And I don't hate the Archers draft. I know a lot of people are like scratching their heads about Aiden going 1. We broke it down for you already. Ryan Steins, I think a lot of people are kind of sleeping on him. I think that's a very good pick for the Archers, especially to the same notion where you talk about Leo Johnson. Like, that attack group needs depth. They need healthy guys. And like, you also get a guy who's in market already. So I like that pick a lot. And then you have your Graham Hosick replacement next year in Will Schaller, who was a consensus top 3 pick when healthy, if not top 2. Like, that's so long as he comes back healthy, and they're being very like meticulous with his recovery process. So I like the Archers draft a lot. But yeah, it was a very fun PLL draft, and the WLL draft first ever. Madison Taylor, first ever number 1 overall pick in the WLL, goes to the California Palms. Shea Dulce goes to the Boston Guard. Maryland Charm shook things up just like the Denver Outlaws did and took Bridget Duffy from Army. Don't know Bridget's service situation either. And then the New York Charging take Corey Edmondson from Maryland in the first round. And the WLL draft was a snake style. So then the Charging wrapped around with Reagan O'Brien to kick off the second round. Sam Forrest goes to the Maryland Charm. I fucking love that pick. Kylie O'Miller had Sam going in the first round to the Maryland Charm. So to get her in the second, love that pick. Shea Baker goes to the Boston Guard from Boston College. First ever WLL draft picks for the Boston Guard. Same college, same pro team, same first name. Back-to-back Shays.
Consistency.
And then the first Canadian ever drafted in the WLL goes to the California Palms, Brooklyn Walker Welch from North Carolina. And then Emma Muchnick from Syracuse goes to the Palms. Kylie Motice goes to the Boston Guard. Maddie Sterling stays home in Maryland, goes to the Charm. And then Deej, University of Michigan on the board. Ava Class.
Gang.
And then the Charging take Darcy Felter. That's a really cool pick. Colleen McGarity coaches at Penn Charter. Darcy went to Penn Charter. Philly represent. I love that pick there. Jenica Cuoco goes to the Maryland Charm. Drexel transfer to Northwestern. Maddie Epke goes to the Boston Guard from Northwestern, and she was also at James Madison. And then the California Palms round things out with Coco Van Diver from Syracuse. I think the Maryland Charm and the California Palms had a fucking slam dunk draft. I like the New York Charging draft. The Boston Guard draft is a little interesting simply because it was the worst kept secret in the world that they needed all the defensive help they could possibly get because they had 2 defenders on their roster going into the draft, and they drafted one, and that was it. They got their goalie, so they have their backup goalie as well. But I love what Maryland did. I love what California did. And Maddie Buss confirmed to me in our post draft interview that she is totally down to come on the pod. So Maddie Buss will be joining us on OTB in the very near future, which is fucking sweet. I can't wait for you to interact with her, dude. She's the fucking coolest human.
I think California did great in building a really fun squad. I think watching California, you just have fun watching lacrosse. There's excitement, there's speed, there's skill, there's up and down, there's energy. They fit well with each other. They like playing with each other. It's amazing to watch, seeing a team enjoy lacrosse the way that they do. And they continue to add fun players and continue to add players that have that same mindset. I'm really excited to talk to Maddie Buss. I mean, watching her coach in the Champ Series reminded me a lot of myself. Like, there was a moment in a game where one of my players started basically got into an altercation, and I just sprinted off the sideline. No thought in my mind at all that the game was still going. And it just took me that moment where she grabbed the player and everything. I was like, that's me. That is exactly what I would do in that situation. So I'm really excited to just pick her brain about lacrosse and get to know her more and start to build that relationship. She's amazing and knows the game and is able to bring people together in a special way. And then, like you said, Maryland has continued to carefully curate their squad. Everybody on their squad is very complementary to the next. They're all about building pieces like building blocks and putting together almost this perfect formula that's going to lead to a championship. I'm really excited to see how it plays out, not only this season, but over the next couple of seasons. Obviously, I like what the Charging did. They continue to kind of stick with the same couple of schools and player types that have worked for them and have created the team that they have now. So I'm excited to see what they build upon. Like you mentioned, Boston needed some defense, but their draft tells me that they're going to the player pool and they're going to sign players for that defense. Considering they only signed 1, they only have 3 on roster technically. So I'm excited to see kind of where they go with that as well. But I don't really feel like anybody had a bad draft, but bringing up the point of Boston kind of missing the mark almost with not getting enough defensemen in this draft is kind of really the only thing I can point out as a negative.
Yeah. And I mean, I love what Colleen McGarity said pre-draft to us in the press conference too. She said, it's obvious there's a lot of Syracuse and Northwestern alumni on the Charging roster, but she doesn't want that to be the identity of the team. She wants the identity to be, we're the New York Charging. And you look at their draft picks: first round, Maryland; second round, Hopkins; third round, Michigan; fourth round, North Carolina. Diversified the roster completely in one draft. And obviously you're going to have your core of Cuse and Northwestern alum there, but you went 4 different schools with all 4 draft picks. I love that she stuck to her word. I think that's badass. I loved this draft. It was so much fun. I got to be in the draft room for this one. So shout out to the WLL for allowing me to be in the draft room. We also got to talk to Rachel DeCecco, friend of the program, after the draft as well. We'll have some clips up from my chat with Rachel as well. But there's so many talented players coming in, and these rosters were already loaded, and now you add all of these players to it. Plus, dude, I can't wait to watch Madison Taylor at the pro level. You got to see her recently, and I'm just so pumped. And the fact that she goes to California and gets to play with a roster as talented as that, and kind of be that it girl for them. Not that they didn't already have a bunch of talented players, but we get to see Madison Taylor with Sam Geiersbach and Jill Smith and Jackie Wolak on that roster now, and Aaron Bakes and Sammy Joe and Ali Bastriani at that midfield. Marie McCool is on that team now, which is just fucking insane. Ellie Massera, Anna Brandt, that team's gonna be so fun. Holy shit. They're getting Kayla Wood back. Palms are gonna be nasty, bro.
Buy your palm stock now, because they're going to be very good.
And all 4 of these teams just did extremely well. Filling need, getting talent, fitting those final puzzle pieces into their roster puzzle. So congratulations to the first 16 inaugural draft class members of the WLL draft. Big time history was made there. Big time stuff. We loved it. Any final thoughts, Teach, before we head on up out of here? What a week it was.
No. I don't have anything this week. I guess go next. That's it.
Go Wings. Final game. Shout out to every player that got drafted. Shout out to the PLL and WLL for having us back at ESPN. Yeah. Flyers are in the playoffs. Fuck yeah.
Go Flyers, because the Wings are not.
Finally got playoff hockey.
Go Flyers, because the Wings are not.
Finally have playoff hockey for the first time since year 1 of this company.
Crazy.
Because I don't count the bubble, because that playoff was not real. But yeah, make sure you guys are following us at OTB LaxPod across the board. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to both the Underground Sports Philadelphia and Outside the Box Podcast YouTube channels. YouTube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. YouTube.com/@OTB LaxPod. YouTube.com/@VLD Schools TV on Monday if you want to hear me doing some play-by-play for high school lacrosse. Live from Gatone Stadium. It's going to be a fun time. Shout out to the VHS boys team. That is all we've got for you guys. This has been episode number 423 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, number 11 Philadelphia ranked, the most disrespectful and unprofessional lacrosse podcast you ever done, seen, and heard in the land. It is the Outside the Box Podcast, the official lacrosse podcast on the Underground Industries Podcast Network. For Deej, I'm KB. Enjoy the rest of the final week of the NLL, and let us know how you feel about the draft picks. Let us know. Hit us up. Hit our line. And we'll see you all back here next week. And check out the college show with Deej and Hoots on Tuesday.
Please.
Peace.
Peace.